How's it going in face recognition and interference channel line system? 50,000 plateaus of communications. The more you go through travel position, you have to understand your connection geometry patterns, inner line systems located to all point center connections. The very powerful test review and evaluations will give you more understanding how we travel through space, our geometric lines, our geotherms, our connections to our thermals, thermonuclear line connection interference, to its connection to its proactive system. It opens all line connections and travels. So it puts everybody into positions. Try to understand how we're all connected to that position location. You obsolete those line centers. You open all those channel line connections. It channels in your connection of travel or connection of time location. So everybody through racing line interference, coming into photo ops, coming into illustration line centers, body graph line system, traffic communication cycles, so much energy interference is going on right now through traction. Round locations, face recognition, like I said, our body tracks and our activation line conditions is traveling fast and fast through time, speed diameter line system, sectoring levels of connections. So it's really powerful how we system. Before I get started, thank all subscribers and viewers have been watching my channels that keep going rising to high level systems. It goes on to high level connections. So we're going to channel to 250,000 years in the future rotation. We're going to set the line the connections. We're going to go through TV op. Now TV op is the interference channels. So we're going to go into the line connections of a stream. And that stream is going to open up all your division location. It's all about understanding your travel recognitions and how time is proceeding on its line system. So Galactica, Tina, Samantha, Bill, Diane, how's it going, guys? So it's great to see you there, Samantha. You missed class yesterday, but that's okay. Whatever you missed, you can watch back, but it's important to understand these things. So everything's set up through all those points of calculation. So everything's on standby, rendezvous connections. We're going to go extremely fast to the positions. So I'm going to do the line signal segment connections, all right? All right, so basically it's all set up. You saw the YouTube position, right? And everything's just calculated and modified through surround system, okay? So it's to all levels, all right? So it's like this, and your photo ops and your structure line systems. So the face and the structure line system is going to go to around locations. Interlining its connections, okay? So you got one here, one here, one here. We're going to fill in all the gap line centers at box frequency level. Okay, it's going to be in a point center line system. We're going to travel through all these box round line connections. This is going to channel interference to 250,000 years in the future rotation. It starts off with this position, okay? Now I'm going to line channel to everything locations. Here we go. So it's going to the top line sends to its position location. It's going to open its round location. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're going through. All right, 250,000 track line centers, locations to its position. Put you in that connection line system coming out of traction. Okay, so you guys are going through high low systems. 250,000. Okay. All right. Point track line center in division. Okay. Now it's going to centralize systems. So you're going to be into a metric cube. This is where it's connected line connections of point centers to positions. Okay. This is going to sector and line connection interference. It's going to go into plasma interference. It starts off that location. And it's going to have its hub level system to its calculation. It's going to have its ground line system as its TV reception line system. And basically it's coming out of its calculation modifications. Right. So it has its standard points and locations. So it's a TV reception line center. Okay. So you guys are going to go to center line connections. We'll change the black surface position location. Here we go in the center line system. You guys are in the center line system of 250,000 years in the future. So you got the satellite locations. I'm going to send out the sonar line system. Connections, 4 waving cycle line systems. All right. Changes position locations. All right. Have fun. 15 minutes. So there you go. 250,000 years in the future. So it's on its equation. It's on its sector and level connection position locations. You guys are in lacing line positions right now. And it's streaming to high levels, your optical lines and your physical adaptations in your body track line centers. So it's complicated stuff if you don't understand time positions. Anybody truly understand that, you can go through my healing. I'm going to go through TikTok. It's all on a melting point. Now it's to understand how we separate our line conditions and interference. The more you travel into space, the more you understand you come through the physical aspects of yourself. You are no longer connected to that element. So it goes into higher levels of acceleration, speed monitors, your monitoring system to calculations, channeling to audio interference, program position location, center line systems. It's in a radioactive line conditions. It's a really amazing thing when you go to travels and recognition of time into the future position. So anyway, you guys have fun. Truly understand what you're seeing, right? Floating neon blue on islands, yeah. Okay. I have to do this extremely fast because you guys are rendezvoused, you've been picked up, but traveling through the direction of time, it's extremely, extremely powerful. We have to go past the static lines, and we have to go through extremely fast connections to the flotation line centers of neon. Yeah, everything's neon through blue line islands. Yeah, so you're going to see trap line centers to everything. So you come into positions of high rising line system. Sure, understand alignments are everything through its connections when you come into all those systems. Truly understand you through travels of space and time shows you everything that position. So so tell me what everybody sees. It's better to get you in there quicker because mostly you guys are informative. You know exactly what's going on with your travels and recognition of time, right? So you say, oh, okay, this is where we're going to go. This is where we're going to travel. So you're more connected to that position line connections, right? I had a lot of internet twining last night through condition interference. It's interesting how you center your positions. The more you go into the mind, it affects everything through the atmospheric positions of time, especially inside or outside. Doesn't matter. You got to find a way to balance these things. And I got billions and billions of computer setups that have changed. So we're coming into the rotors. And everybody knows what a rotor is, to the Wi-Fi. Your providers and your modulation centers have to truly understand the interference channel one connection when you go into adaptation cycles of 250,000 plateaus. So it's extremely complicated. So you're getting more of the actual universe birth line system of the point center location, how everything is calculated and modified through the atoms. All right, so you guys are in the atom rotation line centers of the universe. It's set in time. So flying pods like individual spaceships. Yep. So you become more into wire signals, you come more into TV reception line interference, and you get a really better understanding how to travel faster and faster and faster and faster, right? Because everything line signals and it balances everything out through your energy pods, your international system, your calculations, modulators, your providers, the simulation graphs. You start off your meditation, but you got to get into higher levels of your dispositions. You got to get into more position line centers into understanding what energy, frequency, and vibration is, right? Because everything has its collaboration in the center. Everything has its forming system, right? It has its mutation levels. When you come into electrical lights, it's very, very complicated. Trying to understand it through its equations. Even try to do the multiple levels, right? When you travel that conditions. So blue point grids. Flying pods, yep, like individual spaceships. Yep. Trying to understand the gravity line centers. Trying to understand the atmosphere positions, point center locations. So I saw like a spaceship and everything seems dark. Like, yeah, really get into descriptions. Okay. So it's all about using, your energy lights, your energy pods, electronic interference, your geometric pattern line interference line condition. I keep seeing blue shapes and green shapes. Yeah, it's exactly what it is, Jill. It's a tron. It's Megatron. It's individual line conditions to a metric cube, which is created through high positions. See, when you go to higher levels of travels, you get more connected to higher levels of intelligence, how everything's created through your universal line system. So it traps your line connections, interference, and your point centers. So we have Mesokek Metatron line connections. Okay. And we also have the connections to the Anunnaki platitudes line interference. So we use the tree formats, right? They're connected to the birth line center. It's also connected to Thoth, the Egyptian god position location. He interchanges line systems to the pharaohs in the meridian position status quo. It activates line connections to its gravity line center, to its tree of its life. So the meridian is in its status. So you have to truly understand that we have all attachments of intelligence inside us, because that's what it is. It's a plateau of mastery. It's the condition to its creation. And this forms on so many high levels when you come into the Anunnakis, right? How their birth line center. So we're going to get more into those positions. The tree line center to its connection, the energy gods, we got the Dalai Lama, we got the Buddha, the center line conditions, interference channel line condition, program position locations. It center lines all our body attractions and our acceleration. All right, we come into modulation centers, we come into motion sensors, anything like that. Connections, C-span, location interference. There's a lot of channel of connections that we have to go through to receptions. Blue outline circles with a full blue circle in the middle. We can get into those Tron bikes and drive around the grid. Yeah, and that's what it is. You guys seen Tron, right? That's what it is. So you guys are kind of like in a maze, right? Yep, you can get on the bikes. You know how to use the navigation line center. So your telepathy mind system is 250,000 allocated positions to the brain lab. That brain lab is in a stem rotation line connection. It's a TV interference. Okay, so you have a photo op image that's calculated and modified through digital frame position location. Right, so it channels your higher levels. Right, so you're in that kind of connections, right? Now you come into that position. Anything you come across is a maze line system. So you got a maze like this. Okay. So it's pretty incredible when you see these things. All right. So you got a maze like that, right? So square tunnels. See? Square tunnels. I drew that before Samantha said that, because exactly where you are. It's all about the map sequence connections, how to connect to the body frame positions, right? So let's go, ladies. Get on the bike. We can travel together. So I'll set up the bike line centers. So it's all about how they come into freedom. Pixel activation line condition interference. So with the bike line centers in rotation. Yeah, put them on track line center position locations. Okay, so we got a bike here. All right, we got a bike here set up location. And we got one location center line here to a position. So there's 3 line connection interference channels. Okay, and then we got all their coloration line system starting at positions. All right. So everybody's seen the movie Tron, right? It's pretty amazing how everything is created to positions. The more you travel everything through your high levels of TV receptions understands more of its information, because you're leaving actually the connections. You have the interline connections. The center point position is used through the physical system, but the mind and the thought is way over traction of TV reception, which means that you're in calculation modification. So you're channeling to your identifications of 250,000 years of information. So it automatically goes into the mind system of creation. And that's why you've seen connections to Tron bikes and anything electrical lights. You've seen mazes, you've seen square tunnels. You know, it's incredible force. We can get into those, yeah. Go through a square tunnel, echoing squares. Every other line on the tunnel side are thicker white light color column. So this is trying to understand when you go on the other side division of the solar line connections. So we were on a racetrack. These things work through mind, no accelerator or brakes. Nope, it's all through the mind, through navigation. I want you guys to get on the bikes so you get a true understanding of how to go into teleportations into flying mechanisms of position line condition. So you got to use your navigations, right? So that's why we start off with the roads. We start off with the graphs, the tunnels. So it's like, so that's what's happening now with you guys, all right? Yeah, so it's like a racetrack, and you're just going around, getting to know what's going on. So you have to channel your line conditions when it comes into all those levels. You know, it's very powerful because it's kind of like you're set in the system and everything. It's like it's kind of like the green screen, but it's not a green screen. You're 250,000 years connected to your thought positions through navigations. So whatever comes to mind comes on the track line system to its square tunnels of division. So, all right. I have to think about where I want to go before I get there. Yeah, it's already, see, the thing is too, is that you have to, your thoughts are like 250,000 years of thought recognition, okay? Your photo ops and everything is scanned line system. So it's kind of like, has anybody seen the movie Avatar, where basically he had to get on that wingspan of an operator. It was a bird, right? And it looked like a dragon. So basically what he had to do is he had to fight, right? To find out who is going to be his flying mechanism of travel. So he had that stem from the back of his the ponytail that he had, and then he basically connected to the actual dragon, and then the dragon just went and started connecting, right? Well, it's the same thing when you get on the bike. The bike connects to you through your DNA. It's the pixel activation line center. That stream is its position, and it has its navigation. So you put the navigation of the graph line system into the bike, and the bike will tell you exactly what happens next. So I'm really hot. Feels like I can't breathe. Right, I have to think about, but that's exactly what it is. So put Diane, put Diane in line condition interference. Yeah. Put coolant center line conditions to equal line positions. Operation cycle line interference, program positions. Get her in calculation modifications. Center her line systems to Jill and everything through Samantha. Yeah. Put her in the format, see the acceleration. Put her in balance location of interference. Okay, so you're okay now, Diane. Truly understand how you get into intercycles, interdimensional. This is like intergalactic. This is interdimensional, guys. So it's truly understand when you see a spaceship or anything system, you see how small it is, right? Because it's frame position of 5D. But as soon as you walk in, you're into their interdimensional. It comes into a whole big cosmic navigation, and you walk in. Basically, it's what you create through navigation, and it's all about understanding. It's done through the mind. That's how you fly through extra time. So your thoughts are going extremely fast through acceleration, right? And it's mocking, its connections through its information, its illustration frames. I went through this all through the connections of the mind system, how everything is set up through tunnels. You get on this, you get on that, you try this, you try that. It's all the mechanism of time of travel, and truly understand how powerful it is. So you guys are in the connections of the matrix cube of the simulation of a game. And that's what you guys are on now. You're on a bike. And that bike is basically in your program. Okay, so it's a program through the simulation. So telepathy with bike transfer of map. Yeah. And it's important. That's why you guys have your fluctuation interference and your channel connections, right? Especially when it comes into your flash drives and computer rotors. So truly understand how to travel these requisite time positions. So don't worry, I keep in track on time. I think we're like pretty much at 7 minutes remaining. I know I said 15, but I mean, the thing is too, when you're in the simulation, it's understanding you're on the ground line system of 250,000 years. So you don't really have to worry about space because you're inside a structure of a gravity line, right? But it's 250,000 years of thought patterns. So it's amazing how we have to come to calculation. So everything through Jill and Diane and Tina and Samantha all have to come together in one sequence to one thought positions. So you have to go into the same rhythm position, right? You can channel off to all locations on the bike, but you'll have to be in the one mind conceptual line system. So that pattern line connections goes into structural line system and opens up this backgrounds and everything through space recognition of time. It's really complicated stuff, right? So I'm going to wave off that cycle. Okay. All right, so you started with this position, right? All right, so channel line connections, you guys are going to teleport to line communication interference through this position. We use the plasma airline centers. Okay, you guys are going to travel through a realm line dimensional system. Okay, it's going to teleport you to another location. Okay, so you're in a TV reception of a box level system in matrix cube. All right, so the center line system, south cycle. And this, it's amazing how to change the color line system. Coming out of the cube line center position, change the coloration track line system. Your thoughts are in position, so you're coming into a new computer line center. Okay, to its atom rotation system. Okay, like this. All right. So basically, you're kind of like seeing so much more into the future rotation center line connection from here to here now. Okay, so I'll give you guys 5 minutes to understand what's going on with computers of 250,000 years in the future. Check out the keyframes, check out the windows, check out line conditions, check out the recycling system, you know, check out your defaults and your connection to the recycling bin, reclamation bin, or anything like keyframes. Okay, I'll give you guys 5 minutes. Isabel. You got to really get into communication of your computers and your line centers. You got to get more into the graph position of the abstract line system. So tomorrow we'll be into 1 million years into the future. This is going to be really exciting. So things are going to start making more sense for you because every time you travel to these positions, you've already been there. So that's going to change the mind conception of your thought position and put you in a better frame of its intelligent location. So what is the circle thing on the computer you show? That's coming out of the realm. This is a portal. It's a portal bench line center. It's coming into a computer position of 250,000 years. Track its connection. We started from this position. Okay. That's where we started, right? Face recognition, okay? Then we came into the 250,000 TV reception line center, 4 track line systems and sonar location, all right? And then we came into graph line systems to the bikes and its connections to Tron, metacube line connections to square tunnel line system, information line system, set up through simulation graph. And now we're coming into high ground positions into the computer, routing cycles to its information system. So that's the circle. Yeah. The more you go into higher light positions of your chakras, right? You guys have tests coming up. It's going to put you into 50 chakra line centers. I already have a team that's 114, so they pretty much, travel's become a lot more easier for them, but they have to get more into their 369 platforms of not 2 digits, but 3 digits of each point center connections. They got to get more interline centers to the sun, more programs of the moon, and everything through the interline system of navigation and thought connections to the gravity line center position, to its UFO position. My internet is really bad somehow. It's in and out through interference because you're extremely high in positions and you don't channel line connection interference channels. So what I'm going to do there, Isabel, is going to change your track lines in my space position location. Your internet is 20 to its connections. It's getting balanced to line center. So you have to truly understand that you have a computer or a phone, whatever you're seeing through track line center. My space and time is extremely fast to accelerator. So it's all about understanding the modulation center connections to my routers. Everybody has a router that connects everything to the satellite position location. So it channels line centers, right? It puts everything back in adaptation cycles. So your interference channels right now should bounce out now, Isabel. Your internet should go into its line position. So my voice and grid went through the line signals to your position location and open up your portal defense line conditions. So it's coming out of the plasma of its interference and it's lacing line through static lines. Green codes, symbols, and shapes. So that's the important thing, is that when you go to higher levels of travels, you have to learn how to balance out your computers. Your point centers of your physical system has to truly understand these conditions. So basically, see, now you can see the stars in balance. See, you have to get communications of your phone, everything that your computers and your iPads, everything that you see, you have to get balance with of travel, because everything is in a different dimension of time. It's different in coloration, it's different pattern defense, it's different energy, right? It's in different cycles, right? And it's in different shapes. Okay, so you have to get balanced with that every single day, especially when you're coming into simulation. So you guys are pretty much further from the simulation. So 3D game experience. Flying through columns of codes like a forest. Yeah. It's incredible because you guys are all seeing the same thing. You're just in different alignment. I want you guys really get into more of the graph of its image. The imagery is everything. Okay. That's the most important you have to come across. You can't see these things in an illusion. You have to see it through its reality. You have to see it through its code. You have to see it through its shape. You have to see it through its geometrics of you through travels. Okay. So the only way you can travel is to truly understand your TV receptions and how the universe line system is set up to its box frequency of its equation, right? I keep seeing a round like opening that's mechanical, has flaps, opening squares on the side of the circle opening. Labyrinth. Okay. Monarch. Yeah. Yeah, I seen that movie. That's a very powerful movie. Who was in that movie anyway? That was very famous singer. I liked him too. He was very spiritual. He had this connection. It was a fantasy. It's like that movie with Tom Cruise, and he played Legend, right? Trying to think, backtrack here. Past line conditions interference. Very, very powerful singer. David Bowie, thank you. There you go. Going into reference, but I go extremely high in position locations. I'm channeling in so many levels of interference. Trying to remember. Yeah, it's David Bowie. Yeah. And I believe it was Jennifer Connelly. That was the actual girl that was in that movie. That's way back in believe the 90s. Yeah, it's all about fantasy fiction, science fiction, mystical line connections, cosmic universe line system. It's all connected to the monarchs, the matriarch at connections. Talked about the lions, gates, that line connections. Try to understand that everything is given to you through presence of message. Try to understand everything through Star Street line system, how you see these things. Alice in Wonderland, right? It's amazing how we come into those. So it's kind of similar to that. So it's like walking into something that's already created, but somebody created it. That's what's so amazing. So when I created the simulations, it's all set up to positions. Everything through your line system of universe is one track line system to one timeline. But you guys are in 250,000 years, right? Into one universe of one cube. So you have to understand how to operate the game system to its calculation. Understand what it is, right? I've been in original house. Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. So I'll give you guys another 5 minutes. Have fun with trying to understand the computer line connections and inference, right? Really pay attention to these things because it's all connected to your frames and your main frames and your digital line systems and your draw line connection interference. So there's too much disturbance with internet. Yes, because you're traveling extremely fast in positions and you're inside a computer. Everybody's in a computer. The 250,000 track lines. One universal gap line system. So it's allocated to its frame position. Everything is calculated, right? So it's graphic system locations, like this in position. Okay, that's about reading the signals, point line conditions, keyboard line system interference, change the coloration line center, okay, to its position. All right. So basically, under center line conditions take you out of a realm system. It's going to allocate position line conditions. We're going to high-rise positions. Okay, we're going to travel to another dimensional realm. I want you guys to get informed of what's going on through your activation line conditions. It's going to channel your interference channels. Okay, so I'm here to here. Have fun. So you're another communication line center. You're still in the travel line connections of 250,000 years. You're just in a high formation of a computer of atmosphere of time. Polygonal and green lines. Yeah. Carla, how's it going? Doing well. Yeah, we're doing exceptionally well. We're just traveling right now. So everybody's in another computer line system. Frills. Yeah. So put Carla track line conditions 250,000 years. Put in the green line interference, digital frame position. Put in the calculation modification. Rendezvous her to all levels. It's the 14 conditions. All right. So Carla, you're with everybody right now. I had to high-rise your energy lights and your proactive systems and your gamma interference and your computer line system. So that's where everybody is, and there's another calculation dimensional time. So it tracks its line connections, but it's amazing how we start out through the platforms, how we come into the face recognitions, travel recognition of time connections, how we go into higher position line centers, into computer position of sonar line connections, for waving cycles with location, how you come into high position level systems, into the high levels of the bikes, Metatron, and its tunnel. You come into higher level connections and dimensional time to computer positions of time location. So it's a lot of fun when you travel, right? I'm in a blue water now. This computer seems less digital, bright white. We are bypassing now. Yeah, it is less digital. You're coming more into the interline connections. So it's kind of like lacing line system. So I'll tell you exactly what it is. If you saw Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, you truly understand that you're an electrical light connection interference. So let's go into the box channel line connections. Now we're going to go to the rainbow activation interference channel line system. All right, so it kind of looks like this. It's really complicated stuff. All right, so it channels on so many levels of interference channel connections. All right, so it's got archives and archives of locations. It's extremely complicated if you understand times of travels, right? So it lacing lines its connections, right? It has its digital line numbers. Okay, box, question mark, 3 labeling lines. So you're in the aisles of communication of digital line system. Through its calculation modification signals, now it opens up all levels, okay, of its graph system locations. Starts off with that graph position. Remember, it's a compilation line centers. You have to reach that location, right? So it opens up all channel line connections and interference program centers to a position of time location. All right, so it's very confusing to the mind system, right? So this is where everybody is. It's confusing, right? It's trying to understand what it is, right? Lacing lines, round line centers, digital frame positions. These are digit numbers coming down. So you're in the box line connection of the interference channels of the computer line connection interference system. So trying to understand what it is through point center, right? So it's incredible force because it already has a security line interference. So, but it's amazing how we come into those levels. Let's go into the digital line system. So it's you understand more of the applications, how to go through digital frames through barometer checks, right? So that's the digital line centers, okay? So it's understanding where you are through location, okay? See, you see something green, and now you know what it is. See, I know exactly what you guys are going to say before you say it, right? So, yeah, you guys should be interlining connections. So you're in the center position right now. So you're going through 3-door position line interference. We'll go through the black dot and show you exactly where you guys are. You guys are in the center line here. You're going to go here. You're going to go here. And then you go off to the side, and you're going to see a graph line center position location. Okay. And then you're going to look up, and you're going to see the central lights, the circuit line connections. So it's electronic interference. Okay. So, yep, waving with both hands. I see some dots like skirt waving. I have sticky hands. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I have sticky hands too. Okay, so we are close. It's a green and red. It's complicated, right? You guys are waving to each other, both arms. Yeah, all waving to each other. But that's where you guys are. Okay, that's where everybody is. All right, so you're checking that line connections. You're coming into the other computer line system. All right, so it's all about from here to here, and then you go here, and then you're going to go here, and then you go here, and then you're going to go out. All right, and we go back to our position locations. It's all set up through digital line centers. So we're close to green and red. In real life, my roofer is taking down my ceiling while I try to follow class. Oh, okay. Yeah, I really want you guys to get a true understanding how everything's set up through your digital frames. Try to understand the calculation modifications, try to understand the wall interference, try to understand your connection to your computer line centers, try to understand the universal line system to its TV reception, right? Because it's all allocated positions to you, or your travels of your alignments, right? So it's like a kelp forest, okay? All right, so your center line systems, you're coming into number 3. So there you are, from here to here to here. Okay. So I see it too, right? So you're following it through that sector line connections and interference channels. That's what's happening right now. And then you're going to go into the rating graph of the digital lines. So you're coming up to a big wall that's all digital, right? It's all attached to you, but your barometers and your body graphs have to understand the digital line centers to its calculation, right? It's all modifies because we got to basically change the shape position, right? Because you can't get out. You can't get out unless you understand the code, right? So it's interesting when you go to high-rise position locations, right? With red lines. Yeah. Red lines. Green. I did this before you guys said that. So it's incredible. So you guys are circling that position locations. Now let's change line center locations. All right. So what's going to happen now? We're going to go through a dimensional lock. A dimensional lock is understanding how to connect the digital line system. The ceiling rotation line connection is going to open up channel interference. Now I've already set the code, so you guys can, you're going to teleport the line, you're going to basically accelerate, disappear, and come into calculation back to its location of central line connection. So this is going to put you in a channel interference into another box cube. All right. So I'm going to erase that location, right? Because there's everything is just creation. So it's a thought that goes inside the dimensional line system. All right. So here's the opening right here. Okay. Right here. So you guys are here. You're going to come out. All right. I already set the code. Like I said, it's not the outside surface of thoughts. It's the inside channel position. All right. So you guys are out of the equation. Traveling out. Particle system separates. Okay. So this is you guys separating, coming out like this. Okay. That's you guys coming out from here to here. All right, so you're going to disappear line centers into another box cube line system. It's going to be floating in space anomaly. The calculation modification is set up to a center line system. Okay, got a lot of electronic interference here, static wires. All right, so we're in that position. Okay, now it's calculating and modifying. You guys are going to go here. All right, you're out of that connections. Now we're going to channel line connection to an interference channel system. We're going to go to a rainbow box level connections. We're going to channel our positions into another dimensional time position location to a center line system, right? So you go from here and out, right? We're going to channel down. Secure line defense is coming in. So it's in the same box. It's just in a lower frequency line connections, but you're in a digital line center of its T receptor line connections. All right. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 positions of line connection interference, right? So you guys went from here to here now. Okay, I'll give you another 5 minutes. Central line systems, black interference location, back in location center line connections. There you go. All right, have fun. So it's trying to understand how to use these through calculation modifications, right? 1, 2, 3, my ears go now orange, like swimming up to the surface, goldfish. See, that's exactly what it is, like swimming up to the surface. That's exactly what happens, right? You come up to that position. Once you understand the codes, how to get out of this, you come out and to another portal, and you go into a lower sector line connections of its interference positions, right? But you're attached to the 4-waving system of its 4 line connections of dimensional 3 sector line communications through its digital wall system. Gets complicated, right? So I'll give you guys 5 minutes and then we'll central off. You're in a low graph of the 4-waving cycle of dimensional time, which is putting you into higher level connections and interference channels. All right, that's where you guys are right now. All right, So it's all about understanding these lacing lines, interference, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So when you understand that positions, we're going to center off into position of center right here, right? So that will complete the whole dimensional time connection. All right. That's where you guys are. We are getting to beach and swimming, having fun. Imagination runs wild, doesn't it? Right? So it's not how to set up a digital screen. You know what a green screen is, right? It's the same thing. So you're in the front, but the digital screen. So the projector, what I'm doing through calculation is changing the image of its digital line system, which puts you into different frames of dimensional time of its thought. That's why it's so powerful. So things appear right away, and you're in the center line connections to its box cube of its division location, like being at the bottom of an ocean, drinking cocktails with an umbrella. It's amazing how you guys are calculating a modification line system to the same thing. Isabel's saying playing mermaid. So you're coming into the water sector line connections to its box surface, right? And how Jill is coming into the bottom of the ocean. So Jill and Isabel are pretty much the same plateau. They're coming into the same image. You know you're in the right location. Because if Jill was channeling off to something else, seeing something through a graphing of a different image, she wouldn't be plateaued with Isabel or Samantha. You all have to be in the same position. That's the alignment. But you see things different through frame, right? Yes, you're at the core. Very good. We are mermaids hanging out on a reef. Creating colors. Yep. See, you're all aware of where you are because you're all together. Isn't that amazing? But you're seeing things different. All right. So that's what the universal track is on communication, right? But it's not a digital screen. You just tapped over to higher levels of acceleration of time. So we're going to go into that triangle line center. This is going to open up your body graphs and dimensional time positions through your Browner connectors. All right, so you started here, right? Now we're going to channel off, okay? We're going to the center line connection and interference positions. We're going to go from here, okay? So I can open that trap door. Okay, it's on a code. Everything's on a code or you can't get out. And it gets harder too because if you don't know how to get out of codes through trapdoors, electrical lights, or fences or anything, or gravity line connections, you have a true understanding that you're going to be collaborated in the mind system allocated to that time. So you don't want to get into that positions. So you're coming out, all right, go in black center line system. It's allocated position at time location. Let's change that positions. All right. So basically, every time you travel through dimensional time, you change the coloration and interference. So you went from black to gray, just to show your center line systems. All right. So you came out of here, right? With you here, remember? So it's all about the codes. See? So you come out and now you're in the center line connections to the pyramid of its dimensional lock. All right, like I said before. So we're going to wind spin. We're going to go through dimensional time center, like this in position. Okay. So what that's going to do is going to swirl you guys into a tunnel. All right, it's going to swing you in a tunnel. Okay. Surface line positions is going to take you allocated position of time location. So it's going to surface you into high position, 45-degree angle on the back line center. All right, so it's going to go like this in position. All right, it's going to travel you through recognition of time position, right? Because you got to go back, you can't go forward, right? Circle line condition interference. Let's go through the black interline condition channel line system. So you guys are here in position. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Back home. Back to 5D. There you go. You're out of its equation through the box line center, dimensional time, position, location. Interference channeling systems, right? So, how was that? Was that fun or what? It gets interesting. It gets confusing though, right? I wanted to show you how powerful it is, where you basically have to communicate inside the system more, especially if you want to get out of things like codes or doors or everything through realm connections, boxes, shapes, dimensional time, traps, computer position, line connections, because you could be trapped in your computers in any other computer dimensional time universe. Everything is built inside you. That's the operation, not outside, right? So this is where you have to understand how to use your thoughts. You have to interline your systems and use your thoughts inside, right? That was fun, wasn't it? Dolphins are here talking with us, yeah. But it's amazing how you guys collaborated with the same thing. Seeing the same thing, just different frame, okay, of an image, meaning that you guys can all see each other. Isn't that fantastic? I think it's incredible when we come into these positions, you know? My ears are popping again, yeah. Well, you're just channeling back down into your positions of 5D. So, but that was a lot of fun, right? Starting from that connections, right? I like it how you start. Everything that we do is a story frame. We started from this position, right? So we calculated modified, and we decided to go to higher level connections, interchanging position locations, right? Into the sonar location of T reception. Okay, and then we came into channel interference into the tunnels, the square interference line system of the bikes. And then from there, we came into positions in your higher level system of computer lines of digital framings. Okay, from one portal to the next. That's the understanding how to travel through recognition of time location. And then we come into square recognition light centers of digital frame positions. Okay. So it's pretty powerful when we come into these time positions, right? So that one, tomorrow we go to 1,000,000 years in the future. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. Okay. But that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So take it among each other, just really try to understand the communication interference between each other. Know you guys saw everything. You were there, seeing everything, how it's all done. But you got to get into the imaginary, the imagination, the image of everything, especially when you see these things and you can't use your thoughts outside. The thoughts have to be inside. So if you're in a box center, okay, and your image is outside, there's no creation. The creation is already inside. So it's understand when you come inside and you don't see any doors, you create it through the mind. That's the creation. That opens up all your cycle line centers, right? And then you realize, okay, I need a door recognition on the right side position because the left side doesn't have a wall. So you have to truly understand how to use this in the mind system. It's the collaboration center connections when you come into the left and the right hemisphere of time location, right? So you channel out, you create that, and then you create another thing inside. So you're creating things as you move along, right? It gets better and better through your travels. The more you travel through fast recognition light connections, you're getting better understanding how to use these things through your perception. But it's got to be through the graphings of this compilation. You have to see everything all at once, okay? And it has to be center line connections. You can't do this. You can't walk over here. You can't walk over there, right? Because you don't know what you're up against until you use your thoughts of creation. And then you see a door appear. You go through it, right? So it's all the imagination. It's all done through creation, right? But your thought connectors have to be inside position because it's all about the travel recognition of the heart, which is your reactor. Your reactor is connecting to the shape positions. And if it's signaling to its digital frame position location, to its travels. But you all start with 369, right? So that was a lot of fun. It was so weird. I had my alarm for class on, but it was already started. Reminds me of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle where they go into the future cyberspace. Oh yeah, I've seen to work with 3 clocks now. I just love how we find each other in the story. But see, that's just it, because you're actually there. You're actually there, which is amazing because you see each other and you're seeing everything, but in different frame. That's why the universe and everything through time position is extremely, extremely beautiful, and that all connections. All right. All right. So I'm going to channel on to TikTok. You guys have any questions or comments? Let me know. Have fun, everybody. Adios.